Yep, as you can tell by my prom pictures for my junior and senior prom, it was prom night on Dancing with the Stars. How's it going, guys? It's Eric Sharkey, aka Dancing with the Stars Superfan, back with another video. And yesterday, during our 2-night special on Dancing with the Stars, it was a really fun one as our 11 remaining couples did an unlearned dance recalling their high school prom nights. Man, I can't believe it's going to be 10 years since I went to my first prom, which is my junior prom, as a matter of fact, back in 2013. I always liked dancing with my friends and listening to DJ music because that's the best part of the whole thing. After they did their dance, they would do the dance marathons to the Hustle or the Lindy Hop. So it is wonderful that they brought back Conrad Green as the showrunner because he knows how the show is supposed to run because that's what he did in the past. In case you guys are wondering why I didn't do this video yesterday after Dancing with the Stars, it's because I decided to take a little break from that and do the video the next day. 2 days ago was an emotional one, but yesterday was a really fun one as everyone brought out their fun side after all those emotional dances. Some of the contestants never went to prom, so I was so happy they got to experience prom. Also, if you guys like this video, or if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and smash that like button and ring that notification bell to keep up to date for more Dancing with the Stars content from my channel. So without further ado, let's get started. First up is Daniel and Britt dancing the cha-cha-cha to Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake featuring Timbaland. Len wanted his free arm out a little bit more, but at least his hips were a lot better. Bruno wants him to work on his feet, and I did notice that he was ahead of the music a little bit at times. Other than that, it was a good dance to kick off that night. So the judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a 32 out of 40, which gives them a 2-day total of 66 out of 80. Next up is Heidi and Artem dancing jazz to Girls Just Wanna Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. Derek thought it was a fun dance, and Len really loved the fact that she was having fun out there, but Bruno and Carrie-Anne noticed some issues in that routine. Just like her prom days back in the 90s, I really love the fact that she had fun out there. As long as she had fun with that dance, that's all that matters the most. So the judges' scores are Carrie-Anne an 8, Len a 9, Derek an 8, Bruno an 8, giving them a 33 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 69 out of 80. Next up is Vinny and Coco dancing the Viennese Waltz to You and Me by Lifehouse. Bruno wanted him to work on his musicality, Len would have liked to see more than 4 bars in hold, and I did notice that he struggled with not only his feet, but he also struggled with his rhythm. Even though he didn't go to his prom in high school, he was able to have a prom that he had never had before. So the judges' scores are, they were all 7s from the judges, giving them a 28 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 60 out of 80. Next up is Shangela and Gleb dancing the cha-cha-cha to Waiting for Tonight by Jennifer Lopez. This dance definitely blew everyone's mind, but Carrie-Anne saw some tiny missteps in that dance. Also, Len and Derek still want her to work on her legs, and Bruno said it was a power-loaded cha-cha-cha. So the judges' scores are Carrie-Anne a 9, Len an 8, Derek a 9, Bruno a 9, giving them a 35 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 67 out of 80. Next up is Charlie and Mark dancing the jive to You Make My Dreams by Hall and Oates. I did notice that she was a little bit flat-footed, and while Mark was kicking his legs, Charlie honestly really wasn't kicking her legs, and she did lose some of the musicality in that dance. But all 4 of the judges appreciated her best effort. So the judges' scores are Carrie-Anne a 9, Len a 10, Derek a 9, Bruno a 10, giving them a 38 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 77 out of 80. In my mind, that dance was 100% overscored because she messed up a couple times. No offense. Next up is Jesse and Alan dancing the Viennese Waltz to Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson. Even though Derek wanted her arms to be a bit longer, he said that she is still getting better. Len really wants her to work on her hands, and Carrie-Anne told her to not give up when she comes back next week. So judges' scores are, they were all 8s from the judges, giving them a 32 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 61 out of 80. Next up is Gabby and Val dancing the tango to Good Girls Go Bad by Cobra Starship featuring Leighton Meester. As she was dancing, she was very well connected with the dance, she was nice and sharp, she attacked the dance very well, she was in control, and she gave the judges everything they needed in that dance. So well done, Gabby. So judge scores are, there were all 10s from the judges, which is a perfect 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 76 out of 80. Next up is Trevor and Emma dancing the Jive to Basket Case by Green Day. Honestly, he did a little bit better than I expected from him, especially with the music, and this dance was dedicated during one of his days loving punk rock music. Even though the judges noticed some issues in that dance, it was still a good dance. So the judge scores are, there were all 8s from the judges, giving them a 32 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 64 out of 80. Next up is Joseph and Daniella dancing the cha-cha-cha to Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon. Len thought that he danced terrific and his confidence has grown, but Bruno noticed an accident during the routine. As I was watching the dance, I noticed his footwork was better at times. Despite the accident, it was still a great dance. So judge scores are, there were all 8s from the judges, giving them a 32 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 66 out of 80. Next up is Jordan and Brandon dancing contemporary to her song No Air featuring Chris Brown. During her prom, they not only played that song, she actually sang her own song at her prom. I gotta say, all 4 of the judges really loved that dance. She had the musicality in that dance, but Len didn't like some of the moves in that dance. So the judges' scores are Carrie Ann a 9, Len an 8, Derek a 9, Bruno a 9, giving them a 35 out of 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 68 out of 80. And last up is Wayne and Whitney dancing the samba to It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. I was really glad that he was able to implement some of his moves that he wasn't able to do when he went to prom, and it paid off. Carrie Ann said it was his breakthrough dance, and this dance got Len to his feet while he was slow clapping. And this dance got Derek and Bruno excited. It takes the 2 of them to get the samba right, and they did get it right 100%. So judge scores are, there were all 10s from the judges, giving them a perfect 40, which brings them a 2-day total of 77 out of 80. Now that we got to the dances, let's move on to the dance marathons. The goal is to try to keep dancing as possible while the judges decide who to eliminate, and to be sure they stay in their own box, that way they don't bump into each other. If one of the producers taps you on the shoulder, you are out. The more they stay in the dance marathon, the more points they get. Whoever gets the most points will be crowned prom king and queen. First, they did the hustle marathon to Hot Stuff by Donna Summer. Wayne and Whitney received 5 points, Joseph and Daniella received 4 points, Jordan and Brandon received 3 points, Vinny and Coco received 2 points, and Daniel and Britt only received 1 point. Then they switched it to the Lindy Hop Marathon to Jump, Drive, and Wail by the Brett Setzer Orchestra. For this round, you can go anywhere you want as long as you don't bump into each other. Gabby and Val received 6 points, Charlie and Mark received 7 points, Trevor and Emma received 8 points, Heidi and Arden received 9 points, and Shangela and Gleb received 10 points. With that being said, Jesse and Alan received 11 points, and they were declared prom king and queen. I really love the dance marathons a lot because it was a Dancing with the Stars classic, and I was so glad I got to experience it. It was so awesome, I just had to watch it again with no hesitation, and some of the couples improved during that dance marathon. On the other hand, there were some negatives and some positives during the dance marathon because some people had a problem with the couples being really close to each other because they had a lot of couples at the time. Although there were some positives and negatives with the dance marathon, in my mind, it was pretty good. The one problem that the fans had during the dance marathons is that there were too many couples on that stage. Now let's take a look at the leaderboard from that night, including their scores earned from the dance marathon and from both nights. At the top of the leaderboard are Gabby and Val with 46 points, a 3-way tie with 45 points are Charlie and Mark, Shangela and Gleb, and Wayne and Whitney. Jesse and Alan with 43 points, Heidi and Arden with 42 points, Trevor and Emma with 40 points, Jordan and Brandon with 38 points, Joseph and Daniella with 36 points, Daniel and Britt with 33 points, and Vinny and Coco at the bottom with 30 points. Adding up to their scores from both nights are Charlie and Mark at the top with 84 points, Wayne and Whitney and Gabby and Val with 82 points, Heidi and Arden with 78 points, Shangela and Gleb with 77 points, Jesse and Alan and Trevor and Emma tied with 72 points. Jordan and Brandon with 71 points. Joseph and Daniella with 70 points. Daniel and Britt with 67 points. And Vinny and Coco at the bottom with 62 points. So yesterday, the best dances of that night were Gabby Windy and Wayne Brady. And the improvements were Jordan Sparks and Shangela. Heidi and Artem and Joseph and Daniella were in the bottom 2, while the rest of the 9 couples were safe and moving on to next week. Derek voted to save Heidi and Artem, Carrie Ann voted to save Joseph and Daniella, Bruno voted to save Heidi and Artem, and it left Len with the deciding vote. So, he decided to save Heidi and Artem, while Joseph and Daniella are eliminated. For the first time in Daniella's career, she had been eliminated after reaching the finals during her first 2 seasons as a pro. And for the 3rd time this season, Vinny and Coco escaped elimination despite being in the bottom 2, all thanks to their votes. Even though bodybuilders don't usually dance, Joseph did a pretty good job for someone who was nice and strong, and most of the fans felt like he should have stayed rather than somebody else who wasn't as good as him. Well, I guess the dance marathons probably changed the whole complexion of the elimination. So what do you guys think of the dance marathons? And tell me your thoughts and opinions about the elimination that happened last night in the comments down below. Also, be sure to tune in to next week because Dancing with the Stars will be honoring Michael Bublé, which means our remaining 10 couples will dance to his music. He is not only going to be performing, he is also going to be guest judging. We are also going to have a dance performance from Derek Huff and his fiancée Haley Erbert once again. I don't know if they're going to have all 5 of them judge, or maybe one of the judges will be taking the week off or something like that. We'll just have to wait and find out next week, so stay tuned for next week. So anyways, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Eric Sharkey, aka Dance with the Stars Superfan. Catch you next time.